She was a woman who had it all: a loving husband, grateful children, a cozy home, stability, and the respect of those around her. Everything millions dream of. But inside her, a silence was growing, an expanding emptiness that neither affection, recognition, nor years of marriage could fill. Until one day, she returned a gaze that lingered a little longer than usual, and that single moment, almost imperceptible, began to unravel an entire universe, carefully built, tenderly preserved, seemingly unshakable. What began as a spark of desire turned into a chain reaction: secret meetings, lies skillfully woven into everyday life, all for the sake of feeling alive again. But every step toward freedom came at a cost. Love, trust, reputation, family, everything was on the brink of vanishing. One wrong choice, one passion, and consequences that couldn't be hidden from, even in the darkest corners of the soul. Then came the day when the doors started closing. The house stopped feeling like home. Her husband was no longer a pillar of strength. Her children, no longer allies. All that remained was the truth. And now, she's left with one question. Is it possible to reclaim even a fragment of what was lost, when all that's left are the shattered pieces of trust and the shadow of a former life? Hello, my friend. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel. If it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, as every like truly inspires me. Please tell me which city and country you watched this video from. Now, let's get started. What is this emptiness I carry inside? I have a husband who, by all accounts, is extraordinary. He cherishes me deeply, with unwavering devotion. And yes, my love for him is real. It's strong and has stood the test of many years. He is the anchor of our family, steady, dependable, and always present. Our daughters absolutely adore him. He's gentle, generous, and the kind of man everyone turns to when something needs fixing, especially anything with wires or screens. The neighbors treat him like a community handyman. He's never given me a reason to doubt his loyalty. He's not the sort to flirt or stray. In the bedroom, Daniel goes out of his way to make sure I'm fulfilled. If I don't reach the peak, he takes it personally. Compared to the men before him, he stands out, hands down the best I've known. But lately, I've come to a realization. My views on passion and desire are grounded in memories from decades ago. For most of our marriage, I never truly considered being with anyone else, until Ryan appeared. As I approached 45 and watched our kids inch toward independence, a new longing crept in. I started wanting confirmation, from someone who wasn't Daniel, that I was still attractive, still someone to be desired. Daniel often tells me that I've grown even more beautiful with age, but my reflection paints a different picture. My breasts have lost their youthful perk. Fine lines are beginning to sketch themselves across my face. I find myself retouching my hair to chase away the grays more frequently. That curvy, tight backside I used to flaunt with pride, it's beginning to lose its shape. I can still command attention when I dress just right and put on a bit of glam. But for how much longer? More and more my imagination wandered. What would it feel like to be craved by another man? I began to quietly fantasize about meeting someone who didn't know my history, who saw me with fresh eyes. Even in intimate moments with Daniel, I'd catch my thoughts drifting toward movie stars, younger men at work, or that intriguing new employee who lit something inside me. I slowly revamped my wardrobe: skirts with daring hems, push-up bras, blouses that revealed just a hint more. The change didn't go unnoticed. People commented, and Ryan, always a harmless flirt, suddenly became magnetic. He had joked around before, but I'd never thought much of it. That changed one day when I pushed the boundary a little too far. Something in me was feeling bold, mischievous. When we found ourselves alone, I flirted, not playfully, but suggestively. At first, I thought I was just teasing, but Ryan didn't treat it as a game. He saw right through the mask I wore. Without a word, he locked my office door. Everything I'd buried inside came rushing to the surface. I didn't pause. I didn't resist. Desire took control. We tore at each other's clothes. I shoved everything off my desk. It was wild, frenzied, over in a blur. Then came the silence. Somehow, we went unnoticed. We threw our clothes back on. He left. I remained, stunned, trying to restore order to the room and to myself. I washed off my makeup, sprayed to get rid of the smell of intimacy that hung in the air, and tried to calm my racing heart. I was trembling, not from fear, but from excitement. It took almost an hour before I felt collected enough to get back to work. What I thought was a one-off quickly turned into something more. We both wanted to try something else. Well aware of the danger, we planned a second meeting, this time with more caution. Once again, we managed to escape detection. But stolen moments behind closed doors stopped feeling like enough. Ryan proposed something daring, 2 weeks away on a cruise, just the two of us, in a place where no one knew our names. I wrestled with the idea, trying to decide how to justify such a trip to Daniel. Eventually, I crafted a semi-truth. I needed space, time alone to reconnect with who I was before I became just wife and mom. I'd pitch it as a soul-searching retreat, to think, to rediscover, to remember the vibrant woman I once was. I'd suggest Daniel take the same chance to do whatever he needed. After 2 decades of monogamy, maybe he'd appreciate the gesture. But honestly, I don't think Daniel would seek out another woman. He's too loyal, too rooted. He might sulk a bit, wait patiently for my return, and I'd swear to never leave again. He's the kind of man who forgives more than most would, because he values our life together, our children, and the future we planned. And he knows a divorce would cost him dearly, emotionally and financially. That's why I don't believe he'll walk away. To me, this is a personal awakening, a kind of emotional pilgrimage. I fully intend to come back to him, renewed, whole, and ready to pour my love into him again. I'll make it up to him in every way I can. Hopefully, 2 weeks of uninhibited freedom will sate my craving for novelty and help me bring closure to whatever this is with Ryan, at least for now. But if that isn't enough, then we'll need a new strategy. I'll have to distance myself from Ryan for a while, shift my focus back to Daniel, back to our family. I'm not about to throw away my marriage, my children, or the future I've built with Daniel. We'll need to tread carefully. All I need now is the right moment, a quiet time, when Daniel is relaxed and open, to tell him what I've planned. That evening, Luna and I made love, if you could call it that. Something about the way it unfolded felt off. She said all the right things, made all the usual sounds, but it lacked sincerity. Her climax seemed like a performance, barely believable. Still, she managed to bring me to the finish line. That, it seemed, was her only real goal. We lay there afterward, catching our breath. That's when she finally said the thing I knew was coming. "Daniel, you know I love you, right?" And there it was. I'd sensed this moment approaching for weeks. Thankfully, I was ready. I turned toward her, keeping my expression soft, and delivered the response I knew she needed. "Of course I do, sweetheart. And I know you love me too. Don't you?" "Of course, darling. If there were ever something truly important to me, you'd be there for me, wouldn't you?" "Of course. Just tell me. What is it?" As if it wasn't already clear. "What I'm asking for is everything. My sense of self, my purpose, my role as a wife and a mother. It all feels like it needs reevaluation. And the only way I can honestly begin that process is to step away for a bit. Just a temporary break from being a wife and a mother. Maybe even some distance from me would be healthy for all of you. I believe I'll return with clarity, with energy, and with a renewed commitment to this family. I have this deep longing to find myself again." "Hold on. What are you doing?" I moved down the hallway, calling out toward the bedrooms. "Girls, it's time. Get your things together and meet me in the kitchen." "We're already up, Dad. Be right there. Daniel? What's going on? Why are the girls coming down with their bags? There's no need to unpack everything just yet. You and I still have a lot to discuss. We'll have time for that later. But Daniel, they're part of this too. This family you're saying you want to rebuild. They're not little kids anymore. They deserve to know what's happening. All of us need to sit down, talk this through, and decide what comes next, as a unit. Even though Luna had asked for privacy, I went into the kitchen and poured myself a cup of strong, aromatic coffee. I didn't offer her any. I could see the confidence starting to slip from her face. Daniel, please, you're making this out to be something it's not. You want space? Fine. Go ahead. Run off with Ryan. We all know what's been happening. Her expression drained of color. Ryan? Why are you even bringing him into this? He's just someone I work with. I'm trying to sort things out. You mean sort out how to sleep with him without sneaking around? Keep your options open between him and me while leaving the girls stuck in the middle? Yeah, we're aware. You're aware? What are you accusing me of? All I said was I needed a little space, a temporary break from the pressure of being a wife and a mother. Well, here's your space. It's called divorce. Not a test run, not some extended vacation from your responsibilities. It's final. Daniel, be serious. This is an extreme reaction. I never said anything about leaving permanently, just until the end of September. Girls, why are your bags packed? Girls, I'm so sorry, she added in a rush. I couldn't wait much longer. Daniel, please, talk to them for a second while I go grab a few of my things. I turned and started up the stairs, but I could still hear voices drifting up from the kitchen. Girls, Luna's voice was soft, almost pleading. Your father's misunderstanding what I meant. Amelia was quick to reply. Then tell the truth, Mom. We've known for a while what's really been happening with you and your boyfriend. Luna tried to deflect. I don't know what you're talking about. Ella jumped in. We're talking about those lunch meetings you always had on Wednesdays. At first they were innocent. Then they became quick bites. Now it's suddenly a 2-week cruise with Dodger Ryan. Luna's face was frozen in disbelief. That's not true. You don't have any evidence. I haven't crossed any lines. Ryan's just someone I occasionally meet for lunch. Amelia stepped forward. Is that so? The first time you went to his executive suite for your so-called lunch, your office called the house looking for you. You were gone way longer than an hour. Dad had no idea where you were. And later that evening when he came to pick you up, you claimed you were with your boss. That wasn't a lie. I was with Mr. Archer. The secretary must have made a mistake. She's not exactly dependable. Oh, really? Amelia replied. And when exactly did Ryan become your boss at the executive suite in that hotel? That's the point where Dad brought in a private investigator, Ella added. We've seen the footage. We've seen the photos. It's true, Amelia said flatly. And for the record, he's not even attractive, not next to Dad. You became an unfaithful wife in your 40s. You don't speak to your mother like that, Luna snapped. And how could you do what you did to us? Amelia shot back. How could you choose that over being the mom we needed? Defensive now, Luna lashed out. If your father had his suspicions, he should have confronted me. He should have stopped me. Clearly, it didn't bother him enough. I think it was Amelia who replied, Mom, that ring on your finger means Dad shouldn't have to stop you. It means you swore, before all of us, to forsake every other person. Dad said even if he'd stopped you this time, it wouldn't have mattered. Next time you'd just get better at hiding it. Well, Luna muttered, he should have said something. If it hurt him that much, he should have told me. This only confirms how little it matters to him whether someone else gives me a bit of innocent attention. I can't wrap my head around why he suddenly turned so territorial. And no, Mom, he didn't say a word to you, because he was stalling. His legal and financial advisors were hard at work making sure you wouldn't be able to dig your claws into his assets during what he assumed would be a routine separation. He wanted to make absolutely sure that neither money nor the fear of losing it would sway his choice about staying in the relationship. A few weeks later, he brought us all together and laid everything out. Then he played a video. What we saw and heard in that footage made our stomachs churn. Ella and I immediately assured him he had our full support. The priest explained that the current divorce system tends to lean in favor of the wife, even in cases where she's the one who's broken the marriage vows. Like I said, his attorney and accountant had been subtly working to cut back your spending for some time. I'd be willing to bet you didn't notice that. Thanks to all this, Ella's and my college funds are now completely protected. Shocking, isn't it? I imagine it cost him a fortune. Where'd he get that kind of cash? Ah, now I get it. He knew I'd never ask him to touch our college money. That's icy, heartless, really. And you're probably convinced that Ella and I conspired with Dad to betray you. But that's not what happened. No, Mom. You and your new flame schemed behind our backs. Whether you convinced yourselves your fling was harmless, or you purposely sabotaged this family while cozying up to your boyfriend and pocketing a chunk of Dad's cash, that's on you. We were simply trying to shield ourselves.